Alright, so welcome to our final video in the financial maths playlist. We're talking about borrowing and mortgages now. So these ones are a little bit different than the last ones. We can use a formula for this one, so you'll be happy to hear there's a formula for calculating the loan amount and for calculating the repayment. There still is a sequences and series, and we are going to cover it, but it's not as important. It's just if they ask a curveball, you might need to know the sequences and series, but the formula should be fine for most of the questions they can ask you. So first I'll just quickly go through what a loan or mortgage means. So a loan or mortgage means you borrow money from the bank for a car, a house, or a big holiday or something like that. And then because you don't have the money at the time, you borrow like 10,000, a big amount, and then you pay the bank back bit by bit every month. So whenever you earn money yourself, you can pay them back in smaller amounts. And you end up paying back all of the money you borrowed eventually. So you end up paying the bank more than you borrowed because of all the interest that accumulates, and that's how the bank makes money basically. But you have to borrow the money because you don't have enough to buy the house straight up. So here I just scribbled out a common question I asked. This is pretty much the same question you're going to get every single time on borrowing or mortgages. So they'll give you an amount you borrowed. So you borrowed, say, €80,000. You have to pay it back to the bank over 5 years, and the yearly interest rate is 4%. How much do you have to pay back every single month? So go down here and I'll show you the steps on how to do it. So the first thing, since you're going to pay it back monthly, is you need to find the monthly interest rate. So the yearly interest rate is 4%. So how much is that in months? And we did this in video 6. So if you go back to video number 6, you'll be able to find out how to do it. So I'm going to run through it here anyway. But if you need a full refresher, we'd recommend watching video 6. So the yearly interest rate, you just say 1 plus I is equal to the monthly interest rate, 1 plus S to the power of 12, because there are 12 months. I'm using S instead of OR, so I'm going to say that just S instead of OR. Normally you use OR for this letter inside, but because we're going to do sequence and series later, I'm just going to leave it as S. So now we need to, the steps are, you raise this to the power of 1 over 12, and this goes to just 1 over S, and then S becomes 1 plus I to the power of 1 over 12 minus 1, and then you can stick in your numbers. So in this case we're going to have that S is equal to 1 plus 0.04, oh no, too many zeros, 0.04 to the power of 1 over 12 minus 1. Sorry, that's a bracket there, it's a terrible bracket. You have to put that into your calculator and you'll find out that S is equal to 0.00327 about. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that many decimal places. So now we have the monthly interest rate. Monthly interest rate. Okay, and now we can do the next step is we can stick it into the formula. So I'll show you guys the formula for mortgages. And it's to calculate the monthly repayment. So this is the only one we're going to have a formula for. And we are still going to look at the sequences and series method. So the formula is A is equal to P multiplied by I multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of T all over 1 plus I to the power of T minus 1. Okay, so this is your formula. And all these things stand for is P is equal to the loan amount, so that's how much you borrowed. A is our, I'm going to say, repayment, and then I'm going to say monthly. Yeah, it should be monthly repayment, but I got that mixed up. Doesn't matter. I is our interest rate. And T is our time, so it can be in months or years. It depends what the interest rate is and depends what the repayment is. Okay, so that's the formula. It should be in your log tables book on the financial maths page, so you don't have to learn it off, but you do have to know what each thing means in it and how to use it. So the numbers we have are S is equal to 0.00327. Then we also have the loan amount is equal to 80,000. We're looking for A, and then the time is 5 years, and that's 60 months. All right, so we can stick all of that into our formula. We're going to have A is equal to 80,000 multiplied by 0.00327 multiplied by 1 plus 0.00327 all to the power of 60. Okay, so it's getting a little bit squished, and that's divided by 1 plus 0.00327 to the power of 60 minus 1. We're going to find that our amount A for our monthly repayment is going to be 1,470.58 euro. Okay, so that's how much that we need to pay back every single month if we borrow 80,000 euro and we have to pay it back over 4 years with this interest rate. Okay, so hopefully that method makes sense. It's just a formula, you need to stick it in. And now we're going to go and do the sequences and series method. All right, so let's go over up here. So the way you do it with sequences and series is that you say the loan amount is equal to the, no, not the present, it's the sum. So the loan amount is equal to the sum of the present values of the repayments. Okay, so that doesn't really mean very much, so I'll write it down. It's hard to understand what it means in the sentence, but it means, I'll change color as well, that the loan amount, so let's say loan is equal to the repayment over 1 plus I, so that's the repayment for the first month, plus the repayment over, so remember this is the same monthly repayment every single time, 1 plus I squared, that's for the second month, plus dot dot dot, plus, and I'm just going to say repay for short, over 1 plus I to the power of 60 in this case. Okay, so that's the sum of all the present values. So the best way I think would just be to learn that off, because it can be kind of confusing to figure it out in your head. So it's easy to remember that the loan is equal to repayment over 1 plus I plus the repayment over 1 plus I squared. So that's an I, it's a terrible I. And so on all the way up to 60. Alright, so now we can do our sequences and series method. So first I'm going to fill in the numbers. So we're going to say that the loan amount, which is 80,000, is equal to A, so remember it's still A that we're looking for, over 1 plus S, I'm going to keep it as 1 plus S just to make it easier, plus A over 1 plus S squared, plus dot dot dot, and then it's plus A over 1 plus S to the power of 60. So it's pretty much the same as we have above. So now we have a geometric series, so we can extend this, use the sum of a geometric series. So A, the first term, is equal to A over 1 plus S, or, which is the common ratio, is 1 over 1 plus S, and the number of terms is 60, and then S of n is equal to 80,000. So now we're going to have to use this formula here, that S of n is equal to A by 1 minus or to the power of n, all divided by 1 minus or. So we get some messy algebra here, so it's going to turn out like, hopefully I can fit it all in here. I'm going to say, no, actually I'm going to scroll down, there's no way I'm going to fit it in. So it's going to be that 80,000 is equal to, so it's A over 1 plus S multiplied by 1 minus 1 over 1 plus S, all to the power of 60. That's all divided by 1 minus 1 over 1 plus S. Okay? So I'm going to quickly try and go through the algebra. It does get a little bit messy. So the first thing we're going to put square brackets around this. If you're not too bothered, you don't think you're going to use this method, so we still recommend learning it, but if you're really kind of confused about the algebra, then you could just skip it and you look at the formula, but we're going to keep going with this. So I'm going to say then that's 80,000 multiplied by 1 minus 1 over 1 plus S, square bracket is equal to, I'm going to take this A here out of the bracket, so we're going to be left with A multiplied by 1 plus S. We haven't changed it, we've just written it a different way, 1 over 1 plus S to the power of 60. Now if I divide across by this here, divide across by 1 over 1 plus S, 1 minus 1 over 1 plus s to the power of 60. That will cancel with that. We'll be left with a. And then on this side, we're going to have 1 over 1 plus s, 1 minus 1 over 1 plus s to the power of 60. Sorry, this is getting quite messy, but it's just the way it is. You stick all of this into your calculator, and don't forget to put s in as 0.00327, and you're going to find that a is equal to 1,470.58 euro. So it's the exact same as we had with the other method. So this is definitely a little bit messier and not as nice. Sometimes it is necessary, because if they ask you a curveball, so we'll just write that down, curveball, or anything like that, sometimes the sequence and series method is the only way forward. So try and know it if you can. If you're still confused by it, don't worry too much. The formula will get you like 70% of the questions they can ask you. Probably 80 or 90% actually. And sorry about that super long video there, but I'm just going to leave you guys with an example at the end to try. So I'd recommend just using the formula really. It'll save you a lot of time. This way it's quite messy. So you borrow 10,000 euro from the credit union to fly to Vegas and watch Conor McGregor fight. Then you want to pay the credit union back monthly. The yearly interest rate is 6%. You pay it back over 3 years, and how much is the monthly repayment? So it's going to be really similar to that first example we did over here. This one in the red, it's just different numbers really. And that's a lot of the time what you're going to get with these monthly mortgage payments. They're going to be really similar, just different numbers. So sorry about the long video again. That's the end for financial maths. Hopefully these videos made sense. If you have any questions, ask down in the comments. Make sure to check out our other videos as well. Financial maths is probably one of the tougher topics of the course, so don't be too worried if it doesn't make loads of sense. You can check out all our other videos as well, and hopefully they'll be pretty good. And you can look at our website as well for more features. So we'll see you in the next playlist. Hope you enjoyed this one, and don't forget to like and subscribe.